The air is wet, the drinks are hot, and now it's time for our first cup. Today, people can't change. When I was in 6th grade, I was definitely that kid running around with a copy of Rush Limbaugh's See, I Told You So. I loved the name, I loved the idea, I loved the ha-ha kind of gotcha, right? It's definitely a 12-year-old. Now today, I could say that I don't believe necessarily in the gospel of supply-side Jesus. I think he's about as real as his namesake. But one thing that I cannot deny is that I have changed in many ways. And I don't just mean like since 6th grade. You know, I mean compared to 6 years ago, compared to a lot of things. I've changed politically, socially, economically, intellectually, sexually. Take your pick. There's been a lot of things that have evolved in me over time. Which is why it's so vexing when I hear people say, people can't change. It's like, all right, like I get what you're meaning, but also, have these people never experienced change either? Kind of in love with the idea that it's raining right now while I'm doing this video, and that's a significant change from normal, but I digress. Now, a lot of the time, when I hear people can't change, it's about political issues, right? Ideas that ostensibly, someone wants someone else to change on, wants to change their point of view, their perspective. Or it's to kind of like mock them, right? Like, oh, these people are voting against their self-interest. They're voting against what's good for them. And it just, it frustrates me, right? Like, people change so often that in social science, there have actually been studies of people changing ideas or especially changing religious affiliations. Like, here, fun fact, people that convert to a religion tend to be kind of more fervent about their belief, more fervent about their faith and their practices than people who were born into that religion. Shout out to my Aunt Elaine, who converted to Judaism and has told a number of interesting and delightful stories about celebrating the high holidays. But that aside, the idea of people changing is not something that's foreign to science, so why is it foreign to so many individuals? And I think the answer is actually pretty simple. Just as frustrating, though. It's because in order for people to change, there has to be trust. And not just in one direction, but in both. Right? This trust is something that works on a bunch of different levels, right? Trust that other people will take, needs seriously. Trust that other people who are experts or authorities or other sorts of elites are taking, people like me into account, that sort of thing. Right? There needs to be trust. And often when people are asked to change by others, there is no trust. There's just an argument that's made, often morally catastrophizing things. And yes, I fully admit that shit is wacky, to say the least, here in the States. But if you're one of those people who thinks that others are incapable of change, I'd really ask you to reflect on, if you can't reflect on anything else, reflect on what reason do these people have to trust you? Not from your perspective, but from theirs. And if you don't know, ask them. And because I know that my story is not indicative of all stories of change, but one of the things that allowed me to change so many of the ways that I have is because someone took the time to grow trust with me. And yes, of course, I was curious and I was willing to explore this thing, but the trust was there. And once I could trust them, well, things could be a bit more honest. And once things were able to be honest, common ground was not that hard to find. Just remember that. If you ever find yourself saying to yourself or to anyone else that people can't change, chances are they can. They just need to know someone's going to be there for them when they do. Regardless, please remember that no matter what you've heard or what I've said, death comes for us all, and a closed mouth never gets fed. Take care of yourselves. Trust yourselves. We'll speak again soon.